So in this demo, I'm going to show you really quickly, really the simplest way to start using Lead Forward immediately for LinkedIn prospecting, outreach, and cold email engagement. And it's a very straightforward 4 touch points, and it's something that we consistently see um, exceeding 20% response rates for us on a fairly routine basis. And you can implement it in just minutes. So it's not elaborate, it's not complex, it's not a multiple branch journey with conditional steps. It's simple, simple, simple. And we're going to front load our LinkedIn engagement at the very beginning through our Chrome extension and as part of our prospecting efforts, so that our prospects can see our name, our profile, our connections, our skills, all that good stuff before our first email ever reaches their inbox. So the way we promote and use LinkedIn ourselves is to use that channel to bolster and support our email channel. And the two of them working together in that configuration dramatically raise response rates. And again, the helper there and the supercharger there is that folks can get that alert that you've engaged with their LinkedIn profile. Chances are they may or may not look at your profile, but at least they can connect you with being a person before they see your name in their inbox. So very quickly, again, we're gonna front load the LinkedIn engagement, which I'll show you in a minute, and we're also going to personalize our first email message with an icebreaker, which I'll also show you. But right now, this is just a templated sequence that's fully configured, and again, 2 steps: the first email and then one follow up. And after 60 days, we'll move the prospect into a re-engagement or recycling sequence. That's completely optional depending on what your use case might be. So the first thing I just want to show you is creating the icebreaker inside your email template. And that's done with our icebreaker personalization tag. So what you see here is this is going to get replaced with the icebreaker that we create inside of our extension. And then the rest of this is templated copy. And we are sending in plain text because our primary focus needs to be on primary inbox placement, because if we're not making it into the inbox, then our message isn't being read. So all of our practices revolve around that. And it also includes our approach to how we use LinkedIn as well, because reputation and how you utilize these tools is very important. So very simple: icebreaker in, and then the static copy that contains our sort of boilerplate value proposition will follow. So after they receive the first email, there'll be a 7-day delay, which you can see here, and then they'll move into one follow-up email. These emails are threaded, so they'll share the same subject line, and it'll be condensed into a conversation for anyone that's using Outlook or Gmail, or an email client that supports something like a conversation mode, which is very good because it'll add context. They'll be able to see our first email message attached to the second follow-up inside their mailbox. Okay, so that's the sequence. Now I just want to show you the prospecting side of it. So every day I routinely see, copy, content, and posts come across LinkedIn. I usually save it if it's coming from, an industry leader that I respect, that also attracts an audience that is interesting to us at Lead Forward. But this is also very useful for anyone that posts their own copy and content. If you want to be able to engage with folks that are engaging with your brand or your personal brand, to engage them. So in this example, this is a post that's attracted what I would consider to be one of our target audiences. So using the extension, I've already gone ahead and exported all the unique profiles that have engaged with this post. So now it's sitting in my LinkedIn profiles tab inside of the extension. So I'm going to hit select all. And the first thing I'm going to do is configure the LinkedIn engagement that I want to execute against these 65 prospects. So I'm going to do a less invasive approach. So no connection requests, no email, nothing like that. I'm just going to do follow profile and like most recent posts. And I'm going to enable smart rules to shuffle that. And basically what that means is as it goes through these 65, it's only going to perform one of these actions, either follow the profile or like the most recent post, but not both. I like doing this because it mixes it up and makes it a little bit more human. So more polite for LinkedIn in terms of how they observe your account. But it's also just good to see which might perform better as you look at your overall response rate over a larger period of time. So the next thing I'm going to do is figure out what type of email address I want to accept. So the two options in this scenario are, do I only want verified email addresses, or do I want potentially risky or catch-all email addresses as well? I'm going to select just to accept verified email addresses. And then I'm going to select to export these contacts to lead forward because I want to add them to my sequence. So that's my contact database. Available sequences here. Here's the 4 steps to 20% response rates. And then with that selection, because there is an icebreaker configured on that sequence, now I have this extra button, add icebreaker. So this is going to give me a dialog to add and create my icebreaker inside this text area. I'm just going to grab something that I've used before. Obviously, this isn't quite relevant, but you can reuse icebreakers that you've used in the past. In the interest of time, I'll do that. But obviously, you want to connect with your prospect using, in this case, this was a post mentioning something maybe about the author, the nature of the content, something that would be relevant to everyone that we're about to reach that engaged with this post. And then I can preview my icebreaker, see how my icebreaker looks against the rest of the copy that exists in the email. Turn to edit mode. So when I save this icebreaker, it'll get applied to all 65 of these prospects. You can personalize icebreakers using data that exists inside their LinkedIn profile as well. Simple stuff, including if you want to add their name into the icebreaker, their title, their company industry, their company name, things like this. You can do that very easily, and each one gets personalized. So for every single prospect, I'm just going to do save, and that's it. So what we've done here is we're going to execute our LinkedIn engagement, which is going to include during the export process, viewing their profile. So they'll get an alert for that. They'll get an alert when we either follow their profile or like their most recent post. They're going to move into our email finder and email verification system. The result of that is then going to be compiled and coupled together with all the data attributes that we're exporting from LinkedIn, and then moved into a contact record inside of Lead Forward. And then that contact record is going to be moved into the sequence with their unique icebreaker, and that first email is going to be sent out. So all of this done against 65 very targeted contacts in less than 10 minutes. So the creation of that 4-step sequence should take you less than 20 minutes, once you get a little bit more proficient with the platform. And then going through this on a daily basis. Again, you can swap out some of these actions if you want to do something more personalized with a connection request and maybe a personalized note. All these things can be added as well, depending on, I'd say how targeted your audience is. And of course, if you're doing connection requests, how many you've sent throughout the week already. But this is our approach. This is a very super simple approach to getting started quickly. Any questions, please let us know. Our plan is to put out more of these types of videos just showing very common use cases. Our next one is going to be around connection requests, personalizing notes, and then also including that same note copy inside of an email as well as part of a sequence. So stay tuned, and any questions, let us know.